Greetings, duelists! Chaotic Sorceress ZTC here, and welcome to the finalized version of what is now known as OTK Turbo. This deck goes about fusing 3 OTKs involving high attack monsters into an ungodly catastrophe that usually gets one of them out first turn. So now, without further ado, OTK Turbo. To start this off, I would like to shout out Kampai321 on YouTube for their YouTube video showcasing an OTK involving the Calculator and Nemlirias, which I've used into this deck ever so slightly. I'll have a link to their channel and the video in question in the description below. The other 2 OTKs in this deck are that of Montage Dragon and Chaos Necromancer. I'm not done with Chaos Necromancer though. They're still a very untapped card, and I plan to annihilate them. As always, stay tuned until the end for the TCG version of the deck. Now, onto the deck profile. To start us off, we have Magical Merchant at 3. When flipped, excavate cards from the top of your deck until you excavate a spell or trap card, and send the rest of the cards to the graveyard. This is the main card for summoning and powering up Chaos Necromancer due to its effect and our evident lack of spells and traps in our deck. Next is Chaos Necromancer at 3. Its attack is the number of cards in the graveyard times 300. This is not an activated effect, which is really great when it comes to people trying to negate it, since they can't negate its activation. Also, if you top deck this card when you're in a tight spot, it can go really well. Dotscaper at 1. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished, you can special summon it, but only once per turn and only from each place once per duel. Overall, if we send it to the graveyard by Magical Merchant, it can help to summon Saryuja later, which may help summon a second Chaos Necromancer in hand if we have one. Next up, Gruesome Grave Squirmer at 3. If this friend is in the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Fiend monster with 0 attack and 0 defense by banishing this card. That includes Chaos Necromancer, so this acts as a second Monster Reborn, and if we have 2 Chaos Necromancers in grave, this is a godsend. Next up, the Calculator at 3. The attack of this card is the combined levels of all monsters on the field times 300. Same as Chaos Necromancer, but for levels on the field. Synergizes with the self-summoning Nemliria monsters who are level 10. And it also synergizes with some of the danger monsters, due to some of them having some pretty high levels. Next up, we have Green Ninja at 2. This card can special summon itself when you special summon a monster by flipping that special summon monster face down. And then when it leaves the field, like by linking it off, it can flip one of those monsters on your field face up or face down. This is used to flip Magical Merchant face up most of the time. Next up, couple of aces at 3. Once per turn, flip a coin. If heads, special summon this to your field and draw 2. If tails, special summon to your opponent's field and they draw 2. Good for draw power. Helpful for getting a monster on the field for linking off Green Ninja. And since we can't use spell cards to draw because of Magical Merchant limiting us, this is the best we're gonna get. Next up, Brow at 2. If discarded by card effect, draw 1 card. Really good for draw power if discarded by the danger monsters. Light Serpent at 1. If this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, special summon it, and it can't be used for a synchro summon. This is danger monster discard fodder for trying to summon Saryuja. Speaking of danger monsters, Danger Jackalope at 3. I've already gone over danger monsters, but quick rundown. They discard to summon, then you draw one card if they weren't discarded, and have an effect if they are discarded. This one special summons a danger monster from the deck if discarded. Next up, Danger Tsuchinoko at 3, same as Jackalope, but special summons itself from the graveyard instead. Beige at 2, a level 4 that summons on discard, good for an Xyz monster that flips monsters and therefore magical merchant power. Danger Chupacabra at 1, same discard then summon, and draw effect. Specials a danger monster other than itself from the graveyard to the field. Next, Danger Mothman at 3. Same danger effects, but when discarded allows you and your opponent to draw one card and then discard one card. If you discard Rao, this is a net positive due to their draw one on discard effect. Next up, Luna the Dark Spirit at 1. Allows you to banish a dark monster from the graveyard to special summon it. Also a level 4. Also, since there are tons of dark monsters in this deck, such as the danger monsters, you can usually summon them if you have them. Next up, Night Sword Serpent at 1. Once per turn, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon it. It's a level 4. Same reasons as Dotscaper as well, for it being in here. Shuttle Beast at 1. Once per turn, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can draw one card. Magical Merchant and the Danger Engine make it likely this will end up in the graveyard by card effect. So great draw power overall. Danger Nessie at 3, same as all danger monsters, except on discard, add one danger monster from your deck to your hand, except Danger Nessie. Montage Dragon at 3, you can special summon this card from your hand by sending 3 monster cards, other than this card, from your hand to the graveyard, and its attack becomes the combined levels of the cards sent, times 300. If you get the Nemlyria spell in hand with this card or Dreaming Nemlyria theirself to grab that spell, this card gets massive attack. Archlord Christia at 2. It can stop special summons, and if you have 4 fairy monsters in grave, you can special summon it. We have 11 total fairy monsters, so this is a possibility. Also, if we do all our special summoning first, we can be pretty cheeky. Nemlyria Oriler at 1. If they're level 10 and can be special summoned if Dreaming Nemlyria is face up in the extra deck. That's all that's important. Nemlyria Coete at 3, same as Oriler. Dreaming Reality of Nemlyria at 3 can be special summoned by shuffling one of your monsters on the field back into the deck. Then it can flip one monster face down or add one Dreaming Nemlyria face up onto the extra deck for the other Nemlyria monsters. Nemlyria Dream Devourer. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down except Dreaming Nemlyria. Special summon this card. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect except Pendulum monsters. Basically, it's just another one of those level 10 cards. And you can summon it back, which is pretty nice. Dreaming Nemlyria at 3. When put as pendulum scale, they can be used to grab the only non-Chaos Necromancer powering spell, Dream Tower. They can also be then put on top of the extra deck face up. If you have no monsters in your extra deck, you can special summon Nemlyria from atop it and banish one card from your opponent's field or graveyard for every 3 of your face-down banished cards, and then shuffle a face-down banished card back into the deck for each of your opponent's cards you banished by this effect. Monster Reborn at 1 to special summon Chaos Necromancer from grave. 1 for 1 at 1 to special summon Chaos Necromancer from deck. Dream Tower of Princess Nemlyria at 1. Banish 2 cards from your extra deck and add 2 level 10 beasts with different names to your hand. Good for summoning and helping with the calculator, getting more high level bodies on the field, or, as stated prior, to get more level 10s in hand to summon Montage Dragon. But you can't summon from the extra deck the turn this is used. Now, onto the extra deck. Finally. Chaos Angel at 1. Can be synchro summoned by treating one dark or light monster as a tuner. Needless to say, the danger monsters can summon this guy easily, if the need arises. Also, he can make your monsters unable to be destroyed by battle, if you want to try to use Magical Merchant a second time, but need to wait a bit. Gigantic Sprite at 1 can treat a Link 2 as a level 2 for its summon, and can grab the calculator with its detach effect, but locks you into level and Link 2s. Number 3, Cicada King at 1. It's a level 3 Xyz. We can use, and that's about it. Wind Up Zenmeister at 1. They are one of the flippers for Magical Merchant. Photon Papil Operative at 1. They are the other Xyz flipper for Magical Merchant. Double A Zeus at 1, because if you can run Xyz, his removal effect is too powerful to ignore. Akashic Magician at 1. You can only Link summon them once per turn, but if you summon 3 danger monsters, have a bad hand without draw power, and 2 of the 3 danger monsters are the same, you can Link summon this monster and possibly return a danger monster to the hand, if they point to it. Goat Doctor at 3. Its inability to be destroyed when pointing to a monster makes it a nuisance, enough to keep you going in a pinch. Shinobi Insect at 1. Generic Link 2. Sprite Elf at 1 can also be used to bring back the calculator if it's in the graveyard, from what I can tell. Transcode Docker at 1, Generic Link 3. Saryuja at 1, for its special summon allowing multiple summons of either the calculator or Chaos Necromancer, if in hand. Also the draw 4, send 3 to the bottom of the deck. Access code at 1. Destruction and also attack increases. Now we can move on to showing this deck off in action. The version you're going to see is one before I added Archlord Christia, but it's overall the same gist. Once again, stay tuned for the TCG version of the deck at the end of the video, and enjoy. Alright, here we go. Going first, activating Danger Mothman, discard Danger Mothman, activate Danger Mothman, draw 1, discard 1, activate Brow, draw 1, activate Dreaming Nemlyria, set Dream Tower, activate Dream Tower, draw Aurelia and Covet, summon Luna, Summon Danger Tsuchinoko. Discard Brow. Draw Magical Merchant. Set Merchant. Our opponent summons 2 Photon monsters, adds a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Summons Starliege Lord Galaxion. Activate a detach effect to Galaxy Eyes. Activates Galaxy 100. Attacks Lunalite. Attacks Nemlir Oriler. Activates effect. Activate an effect to negate. Banish both monsters. Bring them back in the end phase. Draw Chaos Necromancer. Again. Activate Magical Merchant. And start milling. Mill. As you can tell, this is an actual person that I'm up against in this. Keep milling. There's the calculator. There's the Night Sword Serpent. There's Treeborn Frog, which I got rid of in later versions of this. Shadow Beast. And Monster Reborn. Tribute all of these monsters to Link Summon Saryuja. Summon Chaos Necromancer. Summon Chaos Necromancer. And they give up instantly. Nobody really wants to go against 2 8,400 attack monsters. Surprise, surprise. Now, on to the TCG version of the deck. Hello, and welcome to the TCG version of the deck, where we get rid of 2 Danger Jackalopes and 2 Tsuchinokos and the Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf gets replaced with just another Shinobi insect because, meh. Why not? Meanwhile, the others get replaced with Omni Dragon Brotar, Shadal Squamata, to shove Shadal Beast into the graveyard, and 2 Orilers. And that's about it. If you want to see more stupidity and crazy dumb combos, consider liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing. Gah. It's 5:30 in the morning.